Hey, have you ever wanted to draw a cartoon of one of your friends? I'm going to show you how by drawing two of my friends from the Fun Squad, Jack and Jazzy. Cartoon portraits, or caricatures, exaggerate the person's most prominent facial features. Do you want to try Jazzy with me? Let's give it a shot. Isn't she adorable? Let's take a look at her prominent features. She's got a narrow face, pretty tall forehead, and you notice that her lips are closer to her nose than they are to her chin. So I'll draw her, make sure her lips are closer to her nose. So let's start drawing the overall shape of her head by creating a long, let's do something very, very tall and long, like this. That's fun. That's fun. It's gonna be a real cartoon, exaggerated shape. Okay, I'm gonna draw her, let's draw her eye line. So her eye line is gonna be a little lower than center so we have a nice tall forehead. So I'm gonna kind of like just block in her eye line. This is the center of her head. So let's measure out her nose and her lips. So if this is her nose, her lips are gonna be pretty close to her nose. See how close they are? So let's try to put her lips right here. And look at how thin her lips are and how big her smile is. So I am going to have some fun by really exaggerating that smile. I'm drawing the center part where her lips come together. So this is where her lips come together. It's a thin line. And I'm gonna add a little bit of dimple on each side. Dimple, dimple. And a thin lower lip. And it just comes down. And from over here it comes down. And we'll just touch it right there. That's her lower lip, and her upper lip is very thin. So we'll just create a little Cupid's bow and then darken in the upper lip. Okay, there's her lips, her smile. Now her nose, girls love tiny little noses, and her nose is a button nose. So I'm going to just create a little circle for her nose. Keep it really simple, and I'll focus on her pretty eyes. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw the start of her eye, the inside of her eyes like this, and then the outside of her eyes about like that. These big, pretty eyes. Look how blue they are. Her upper eyelid with her lashes is the most prominent in her eyes. So I'm going to do, and the outside eye of the eye is higher than the inside of the eye. So if I draw it flat, this is where that outside eye would be. So inside the eye, up just a little bit, and that is the outside of her eye here. So I'm gonna just out and then slant down to her eyelid like that. Same thing on this side. Flatter on the inside and then arches over. That looks a little too flat, doesn't it? And it looks like this is too low. Let's try that again. I'm gonna give her a little more volume in those eyes. So this one needs to be about like right here. I'm gonna arch it up a little higher. There we go. If you want to get really good at drawing arches like this and circles, you gotta download my exercises. I'll teach you how to do that. So the lower lid comes down and you can hardly ever see any of that lower lid because there's hardly any lashes or eyeliner on there. Okay. Now I haven't added any of her lashes yet, but just kind of the upper eyelid. Let's do that. Let's add some of these lashes. It kind of comes down right here. And I'm gonna draw her irises, those circles. Make sure they're the same size. And then add the pupil with a highlight. I just leave a little arch over highlight, and then I'm going to darken around that highlight and then lighten up as I get to the bottom. So it looks like her eyes are really, really bright. Shadows on the top of the irises, and then lighten it up as I go down. Okay, let's add an eyebrow. Kind of comes up, up, over, and then down a little bit. Up, over, and then down. Up, over, and they're just very, very light. Now let's draw her eyelid. Her eyelid is a very prominent feature. So let's draw this part of the eyelid first. And then it kind of comes down close to the center here. I'll do the same thing over here. Now you see how I've lightly sketched in the shape of her face? You can see it's a little more rectangular. So I'm gonna or more angular. So I'm gonna just kind of darken in. Got a good strong jaw here. And then shorten her chin just a little bit. Here we go. Erase this. Now she's got a little tiny bit of a lower eyelid, so I'm gonna just lightly, ever so lightly, put that in. Now look at this high forehead and beautiful hair. I'm not gonna draw her hands, so I'll draw her neck right here. And now let's draw her hair. Right here, nice tall forehead. There's her part. And it goes boink, boink, right here. And kind of arches like this, but then the bangs come up over and insert right here. So it comes up over, comes close to her, comes right across her eyebrow, close to her eye, and then it comes out, and this little S curve. And then from under here, there's another S curve. How pretty. And I'm going to make sure she's got volume over here. So it's not going to follow the contour or the surface of her head. I'm going to draw it further away. So it's going to come out like this. Let's erase this part. And darken up this part. This hair kind of comes like that. And I'm going to give a little thickness of this part of her hair here. Let's do the same thing on this side, where it comes up and it leaves her forehead about right here. See how I'm measuring all these things? Comes off and away. And then behind her ear here, comes up, forward, and then around. Let's draw the outside of her hair. Now the hair kind of comes up and it pinches to the back there. See a little bit of her ear and her hair back here. Let's add a little bit of a collar and some other hair. And now we've drawn Jazzy. This looks like a teenage version of Jazzy, like what she might look like when she's a 19 or a 20-year-old. So what stands out in Jack's photo? One of the things I see is this hairstyle. It's very prominent. I also see this beautiful smile. Look at all that empty space in his mouth, and he's got this huge smile that's bigger than his teeth. And he's got, his eyes look very, very happy. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to draw this big basic shape. And it looks like an oval with kind of flat sides and then a chin. So I'm gonna draw an oval, like an egg, kind of flat sides. And if I don't get it just right, it's okay, I'll change it later. Here's the chin. Little flat chin. And so what I see first is this hair. So it's really short on this side. So I'm gonna draw this, and he's got a lot of forehead right here. So I'm gonna draw this and swing it down like a big S curve. All right. Now, if I just draw it right here on the top of his head, it looks like it's painted on his hair, is painted on his head. So I'm going to give it some dimension by bringing it up like that. Okay, so that's the shape of his hair. Now I'm gonna draw his ears. And his ears, right, I'm not trying to draw it exactly, so I'm just gonna draw kind of normal ears, like that. And when they stick out like this, they make the character more fun. So there's his ears. Now let's draw his smile. It is huge. He's a happy camper. So I'm gonna draw kind of where the corners of his mouth are first. And that helps me like create the dots, like a dot to dot. And then the bottom of his mouth is like right here, and it's kind of flat. You can see that bottom lip is kind of flat. And then his upper lip is pretty flat too. But I'm gonna exaggerate a little bit of a smile so it kind of goes down in the center and then back up on each side. So about right here in the center of his head, his lip, so I'm gonna go like this and this. Oh, you can see these are the sides of his mouth. And then I'm gonna bring this down like this. There we go. That is his smile. I'm gonna actually make it a little bit exaggerated like that. I'm gonna draw now the corners of his mouth like this, where his teeth are. And now I'm gonna draw his teeth, but I'm gonna simplify his teeth. You don't wanna draw every tooth. It makes it look really, really weird. So here's his teeth right here, the front teeth. And then I'll make the front teeth look like one tooth, like this. And then I'll just add the other teeth like that. So I'm just being very, very simple. I'll add the lower part of his lip here. And that, I'll darken this in real quick. I'll darken this in. And then see how underneath his teeth, the bottom teeth, they're a little darker too, so I'm just gonna shade those in a little bit. See his gums here? Boink, 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 boink. Right in the middle, I'll go boink, 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 boink. There we go. Now his nose is just a cute little button nose. So I'm gonna just draw it like a little button, little circle button. Maybe a couple little wings here, just to keep it really tiny. Now look at those eyes. I can see his eyelid. You can see his whole eyelid. Sometimes people's eyebrow cover most of the eyelid, but I can easily see the eyelids on this guy. So I'll put his eyes like right here and right here. Okay, I'm just kind of like figuring out where they go lightly. All right, and they kind of angle up, and you can see a lot of this, like almost like a little lash on the corner of his eyes. So I'll just kind of indicate those. And now I'm going to draw in the eye part. And it's just kind of a half of a football shape like this. And then I'll draw the eyelid. And then the eyebrow. Now look how his pupil sits right on top of the eyelid. And then iris. Like that. You can see his lower eyelid. This eyelid is scrunched up because he's smiling so much. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So I'll start right here in the corner of his eye right here. I'll draw the lower lid first. It kind of goes up. And let's draw a little half of a football shape. Like that. I draw really lightly at first. And then darken in. So here's his eyelid. Here's his eyebrow. Let's see, is this the same size? Almost, yeah. See how I'm measuring it with my pencil? I put my thumb tip on one corner and the edge of my pencil, end of my pencil on the other one, and I measure it out. So yeah, so I'll add the pupil and then the iris. I'm just gonna add a little bit of pokey hair here because it's really, really short. Darken in what I like about his hair. I might erase this a little bit. Go up. Erase this. And look at, you can see all the little lines in his hair. So I'm gonna do that too. Just follow and put some ear shapes in here. Darken up. Darken up his eyebrows just a little bit. And then his pupils are gonna be super dark, but I'll leave some light shapes in there. He's got bright blue eyes and some little lashes. So I'll just add some lashes in there and make him happy. Darken up some nostrils. And I'm gonna darken in the tops of his eyes, but leave some shapes of light in there because his eyelids are casting shadows inside his irises. And there's a lot of shadow right here too. You can see how the eyelashes and the shadows kind of darken up. There's very little white in the corners of his eyes. So I'm gonna darken those in a little bit. And there we go. Let me darken this in real quick. I love it. And so there's Jack. And that's how you draw cartoons of your friends. I want to help you improve your drawing skills because the better you are, the more fun you'll have. If you'd like me to show you how to draw something, please leave a comment down there. And if I choose your subject, I'll send you some sweet sketchy swag. If you'd like me to review your drawings and show you how to improve them, send them to me at sketchy@sketchy.com and I'll respond to as many as I can. And as always, please subscribe and click on the bell so you can be alerted to new lessons. Have fun and stay sketchy.